All right, let's talk about navigating the US tax system when you don't have a social security number. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can get your own individual taxpayer ID number, or ITIN, for 2026. Let's get right into it. So, does this sound familiar? You're trying to do something like open a US bank account, maybe build some credit, or just file your taxes. But you keep hitting this wall because every form asks for a social security number you don't have. Well, if that's you, you are in exactly the right place. The solution you're looking for is called an ITIN. That stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. You can just think of it as a special 9-digit number that the IRS gives out. It's specifically for people who have to deal with US tax stuff but aren't eligible for a social security number. Okay, so where do you even start? Well, it all begins with one really important piece of paper, the IRS Form W-7. First things first, you're going to head over to irs.gov and download the newest version of that form. Now, once you have it, find the Reasons section. This is probably the most critical part of the whole application, so pay close attention. You've got to check the single box that perfectly matches your situation. For the vast majority of people listening to this right now, the box you're looking for is the one that says non-resident alien filing a U.S. federal tax return. Why? Because most people who need an ITIN are non-U.S. citizens who actually have a requirement to file a U.S. tax return. And I'm not exaggerating how important this is. You've really got to be careful here because, as the source material warns, checking just one wrong box can get your whole application rejected. So take that extra minute, double-check it, and save yourself a massive headache down the line. All right, so you've got the form filled out. Now you have a decision to make. How are you actually going to submit it? You've got three main options.
The biggest difference between these methods really comes down to one thing: the safety of your passport. You can apply by mail, but listen to this. It means sending your original passport away to the IRS for 8 to 11 weeks. That's a huge risk, right? The much safer bets are to go in person to an IRS Taxpayer Assistance Center, or what's called a TAC, or to use a Certified Acceptance Agent, a CAA. With both of those options, they verify your passport right there on the spot and hand it straight back to you. No waiting, no risk.
Next up, you've got to prove you are who you say you are. Let's talk about the supporting documents you'll need. The absolute gold standard here is a valid passport. It is by far the best document to use. And the reason is simple. It knocks out two requirements with one stone. It proves both your identity and your foreign status. Now, if you can't use a passport, the IRS will accept a combination of at least two other documents, like a national ID card, a birth certificate, or a foreign driver's license. And hey, a really important heads up for anyone applying in 2026. The IRS is getting strict. They will not accept any documents that are expired, period. So make sure everything, your passport, your ID, whatever you use, is current and valid before you send anything in. We are so close to the finish line, but there's one more absolutely crucial step that so many people miss. I like to call it the golden rule of getting an ITIN. And this isn't some obscure rule. It applies to a whopping 90% of all applicants. So the odds are this definitely applies to you. So here's the golden rule. You can't just send in the Form W-7 by itself. In almost every single case, you must attach your fully completed U.S. federal tax return right to the front of your ITIN application. You send them in together as one package. Think of it as a mandatory 2-for-1 deal. So you've done all the hard work, you've put your package together, and you sent it in. Now what happens? Well, let's look at the timeline. Once the IRS has your application, the clock officially starts. On a normal day, you can expect your ITIN to show up in the mail in about 7 weeks. But, and this is a big but, if you apply during that super busy peak tax season, which is roughly January to April, you've got to be more patient. The wait time can jump up to 11 weeks. So planning ahead can make a huge difference here. And there you have it, your step-by-step guide to getting an ITN. I know it can seem like a lot of hoops to jump through, but if you get these key steps right from the start, the whole process becomes so much smoother. You now have what you need to unlock your U.S. financial life. The only question is, what are you going to do with it?